Charity gives us the ability to reach out to and care for others in ways that are far beyond our own abilities. In today's Gospel, we hear Jesus narrating the parable of the wise and the foolish virgins. The parable fervently urges us to prepare ourselves for the second coming of our Lord. For the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect Him. Matthew chapter 24 verse 42. In the parable of wise and foolish virgins, the bridegroom whom the virgins were waiting for represents Jesus. And the 10 virgins represent us, you and me. As St Augustine writes, these 5 and 5 virgins are all Christian souls together. As Christians, we are also waiting for the coming of our Lord. But we hear in the parable that not all the virgins were welcomed to the banquet. Does this mean that all Christians will not be welcomed to the divine banquet? Yes, my dear brothers and sisters, the Gospel makes it clear that just labeling ourselves as Christians is not enough. For Jesus says, "Not everyone who calls me Lord will enter God's kingdom." Matthew chapter 7 verses 21. And it is very clear in the reply given to the foolish virgins, "In truth I tell you, I do not know you." So what should we do? As good Christians, we need to prepare ourselves like the wise virgins. Did the wise virgins know that bridegroom would delay? No, but still they had sufficient oil, unlike the foolish virgins. We too do not know about the hour or the day of the second coming of our Lord, but we should be ready with the sufficient oil like the wise virgins. St. John Chrysostom writes in one of his sermons that the oil in the parable symbolizes works of charity. My dear brothers and sisters, charity is a virtue which is already present in us. It is the gift of God which we receive during our baptism. It gives us the ability to reach out to and care for others in ways that are far beyond our own abilities. And as Christians, we are called to utilize this gift without any reserve for the good of others. Thus, the wise virgins lacked no oil, but the foolish lacked oil because they did not utilize this virtue of charity for the good of others. Hence, it is by doing charitable deeds we keep our lamps burning, and we need to keep them burning constantly, as Jesus says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Matthew chapter 5 verse 16. Thus, we need to be diligent in almsgiving by helping one another for a good cause by every means available to us. My dear brothers and sisters, Jesus Himself has set a wonderful example for us. For the good of all humanity, He gave His life on the cross and delivered from the clutches of the evil one. Same thing He expects from us also when He says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." And this is how we shall fill our lamps sufficiently. Let us then prepare ourselves for the coming of our Lord by doing the deeds of charity diligently and keep our lamps burning like the 5 wise virgins, so that we may join the divine banquet.